Oh man, I hate Mondays.
Nah, man, it's Tuesday.
Wait. What day is it?
You know what day it is? Tuesday. Brewsday, Tuesday.
Oh, fuck yeah. It's time for Brewsday Tuesday, brought to you by the Cellar and Six Pack Store. Here's DreZ and Big Nate.
Oh, I got some bubbles. Oh boy. Oh boy. It is Brewsday Tuesday, brought to you by the Cellar Restaurant and Six Pack Store in downtown Blacksburg. I feel like it's been so long since that's happened, and clearly
Someone stole the paper.
someone stole the paper towels. Which
They
is,
replaced it with napkins.
I guess
Or no, those are tissues. Those aren't even napkins.
these are tissues.
I
I think these are those crappy napkins.
Yeah, they're not. Okay.
So I think they qualify. But
No, yeah, because I guess there's our tissue box.
yeah, there's the tissues. But okay, well, there we go. Some things never change. Got to get those paper towels back in here. I don't know someone's always ganking them, but it is Brewsday Tuesday, and I still have beer from the trip left over. So this first round, we just popped a couple tops from Smoketown Beer, which is located right across the Potomac River in Maryland. So we were a stone's throw. It was our very last stop in the RV. And in fact, this brewery, and I can tell you what other breweries we went to that day, was basically our last full day on the road. So this was the tail end of the trip right here. And from Smoketown Beer, I just opened their Barroom Hero, which is a hazy IPA coming in at 6.7%. Just right here on the side. And I think yours might have a similar spiel, but at the bottom, it looks like it delves into the beer. But I'll read the whole thing just to give you a little idea about good old Smoketown. It says, from our family to yours, Smoketown Beer has been the source of blue-collar craft for people just like us. Family-owned and operated, Smoketown has become a small-town hero, making big-time moves, transforming our first brewery from a neighborhood fire station. We pay homage to the people by creating crafts brews for anyone who walks through our doors. Every beer is rich in history and taste, hazy with a beautiful pale straw color. This beer's got a floral nose with a balanced hoppy and malty body. This one's a favorite for those that love a truly juicy hazy IPA. That's me. Careful. These go down almost a little bit too easy. So just remember, pal, don't be a barroom hero. Well written. I like
It's
it.
way better than a jukebox hero.
Ah,
So, from Smoketown Beer, I might have the first label. You know the saying, like, oh, that dog's so ugly, it's cute? Something you don't know about me. There is one flag in this country that I passionately hate, and it's the Maryland state flag.
is that right?
Well, they really want you to know they're from Maryland with this Maryland Rye IPA, Maryland India Pale Ale.
They definitely
They
have
wanted
that.
Maryland printed on there twice. It's decked out in the flags. I think that the flag just looks very dated. It like has a 70s feel to me.
It has
nothing against
older
this.
than that. I mean, it almost,
yeah, it's
to me, it looks like it's like 17th century France or something.
I mean, might be as well, but I mean, they did like keep on the state's colors. It's 6.6% ABV, which they've printed in a huge bold font here. So if you're hard of seeing like me, it makes it easier. Proudly brewed in Maryland, blue collar craft. They got this little sticker with the devil that says the devil's in the details. Like there's a lot going on here. And yeah, so I'm going to say the label is in fact so ugly. It's cute. I'm excited to have a rye IPA from Maryland now. Nothing against the state. I have no issues with the state of Maryland. It's just their flag is almost offensive to look at.
So we were,
And we have a boob on our flag.
That's true, which is pretty sweet. Surprised that hadn't been canceled yet. So we were staying right on the Potomac River, our last spot, and this brewery actually was less than a mile from where we were staying, which was quite nice. That day, I think BB was like still working, and I was like, well, you still got a little work to do. Maybe I'll just head on down and check out this brewery, because there were a few that I wanted to maybe go to, and that one was close, and I was maybe going to actually skip over it because, I mean, the marks on Untapped, which is when you're trying to pick a brewery, that's kind of my go-to. Is I look at Untapped, you can actually type in the brewery and it'll have the overall score. So that can, I mean, maybe I'm putting too much faith in the Untapped app, but Case in point, this one didn't have the highest score. So I was like, okay, well, whatever, they're real close. So I want to give them a try. I thoroughly enjoyed the flight of beer that I got. I also thoroughly enjoyed that, they had, 4-packs to go, and they were cool with breaking it up and doing like a mixed 4-pack, which is obviously what I need
Should,
for doing a show and stuff.
by definition, be the rule.
So, I mean, that made me very happy. So I have actually not tried either of these beers, but the beers that I tried previously there doing the tasting and stuff, I enjoyed. And I think BB has had one of the sours that I got for her, and she liked it as well. So they actually got some pretty solid beer. And I thought it's interesting that it's Smoketown beer. It's not brewing. It's not brewery
Beer.
company. It's not Smoketown brewery. It's Smoketown beer.
Well,
Just simple.
yeah, I mean, they write blue collar craft here on the side of this can. So they want you to know we're not trying to get fancy with it. I'm not a sanitation engineer. I'm a garbage man. Let you know, we make beer. I like it.
Yeah. So, and this was in Brunswick, Maryland, which again, it's right on the Potomac. So we hop across the bridge and you're in Virginia, which is actually what we ended up doing for our last night on the trip. We went to a couple breweries because I didn't realize this, and I remember we talked about it not too long ago. Vanish, I'm pointing, but I guess it's off camera. Vanish, we got the sticker up there on the door, and that came up at some point, was only like a 25-minute drive. And I remembered I really liked it. So I was like, well, let's go to Vanish. So we get there and we look. And one of the things I will say, I will give Vanish some credit for is they did do flights, which is always nice. I like to do the flights. You get a flight of 6, which is their kind of standard. You could also get the mega flight, which is a flight of 12, which is what we opted for. And then there was the giga flight, which was a flight of, I don't even know, was it 18 or 24? Or...
Good God.
So, and the flight of 12 came in this huge wood block that just said Vanish flight. And you fill it out and with the letters. So like V is this beer. So it's Vanish flight is 12 letters. So it worked out pretty good. They were pouring them into like plastic cups, like little plastic cups, which I didn't love because, drinking beer should be out of a glass, but whatever.
And I mean, are they reusing those plastic cups?
I would certainly hope not, but then again, I would almost hope they would because that's just very not environment friendly, I would say.
I don't know. I'm weird about that. It's got to be glass, like you said, glass, or I love those like stainless steel pints. I'm a big fan of those as well.
Yeah, like the ones that you get at like Floyd Fest and stuff. Yeah. So we do it. We hop outside and start drinking the beers. The beers are all right, not as good as I remember, but this was the main thing was I wanted to go out because I was hoping on this trip I would get my 6,000th untapped check-in. And I was like, that's why I wanted to hit breweries because I was like, man, I'm only like 12 beers away. So if we get some flights going, I can make it happen. So I did find it was I think it was called the 360 kickflip beer. Because I remember I've said this before because Vanish, if I remember correctly, it's on a huge farm, by the way. I mean, this is the biggest brewery venue. I mean, there was probably 50 picnic tables. I mean, like it was just huge. It could have thousands of people there. But I do remember when we did the brewery tour that they actually had, so I don't know if it's the owner or whoever is really into skateboarding because they actually had like kind of like quarter pipes, might even been a half pipe in the huge farm building where they had the vats and whatever. But so I can't remember. Oh yeah, so that was the beer that I used as my 6,000th, and it was delicious. Problem was we were sitting outside because it was a lovely day, but just the theme of the trip, man, the damn bugs.
Oh, no.
So I'm holding that beer and it's a
Bro.
triple or something, big ABV, just delicious beer. And I'm holding it and a mosquito lands on me and I smack the mosquito and I spill the beer all over my lap. And I'm so bummed out because that was the main beer I wanted. I was saving it for my 6,000. So I pop inside to see if maybe they'll give me like a top up or another one or whatever. And then I remembered and I saw, because as we got those beer, they were like, oh yeah, by the way, last call is in like 10 minutes or whatever. So they had already cleaned the taps and everything. I was like, damn it. So that was a bit of a bummer. And then the bugs just got so bad that we bring our flight back in And then like this lady was, I don't know if she was just trying to rush us out. She was like, she's like, we're closed. And I'm like, well, yeah, well, we bought this flight. We're like,
Yeah.
just trying to finish it. You know, we're not buying more beer. She just was giving us attitude and like trying to rush us out the door and
That's
stuff.
unfortunate.
Yeah, it kind of sucked.
I've
So,
never run into anything like that at a brewery.
yeah, you would think so, but I don't
must
know.
have had a hot date.
I don't know.
Sam the
It
butcher or
was,
something.
and they were already breaking everything down. Like when I went to go get that, I was hoping to get that other little pour. They, you know, it was well before closing time, and they looked like they were. I think that's what it was they were pretty much done with everything, and it was 8:02, and we were still in there trying to finish up our flight, and they were trying to rush us out. So that left a pretty sour taste in my mouth. So I'm not as big of a fan of Vanish as I was. So, you know, let's say. Then we went to, I think it was called Flying Ace Brewery, which that one was better. They had food. Oh, yeah, that was the other thing. I got a soft pretzel at Vanish. It was like $12.50, I think, plus the beer cheese that I paid an extra $2 for. And that soft pretzel had clearly, she just brought it out. It was wrapped in foil on a plate. It had been sitting for God knows how long. It was hard as a rock.
Was it one of the? I bet it was one of those like frozen section pretzels too. Like not like. I mean, if you're gonna
It
do
sucked.
pretzels, you got to make good pretzels, particularly if you're making your own beer cheese, which maybe they didn't do that either.
The beer cheese did save it though, because you dipped it in the beer cheese. Beer
It was
cheese was
covered
pretty
for
good.
pretty much
So,
everything.
but yeah. But speaking of pretzels, I wore this shirt because I did get this shirt at the brewery. We're not drinking their beers. I don't have their beers to drink, but Fourscore Beer Company, Gettysburg, as the name suggests. And I did love the shirt because the logo is pretty sweet. It's got like the Abe Lincoln
hop
with the hop.
top hat.
So their beer was, I guess they're known for their like pastry beers. So stuff that BB was getting, like the sour pastries.
Yeah.
It was just thick and ridiculous. They actually even had, you know, some places they have their beer cheese or whatever. They had beer ice cream. Believe it or not.
Ooh.
And so their IPAs were okay, but the big standout, their soft pretzel. Dude, if you ever go to Fourscore, which you should, if you're in Gettysburg, you have to go to Fourscore. Their soft pretzel, not only was it just big and glorious, fluffy, soft, nice and buttery, like think of an Auntie Anne's, but on steroids, just gigantic. But as we mentioned, you know, a lot of breweries, they have the beer cheese that comes with it, which is fantastic. You always love the beer cheese. Their soft pretzel came with crab dip. Brilliant. I don't know. You're making a face like you don't really love crab.
I don't know why
dip.
I've never thought of that.
I'd never thought of it either, but oh my gosh, it was fantastic.
Like I'm used to, I mean, you just get bread with it. So obviously a pretzel makes sense for crab dip.
And not only pretzel,
Now,
but a damn good
I'm a little
pretzel.
frustrated at some of the decisions I've made in life that haven't led to that. I mean, and the other thing, like that should be, for all intents and purposes, probably pretzel country on the East Coast, because there's a lot of Germans and Dutch families up there. I don't want a pretzel. It's all that's in my brain right now.
Yeah. Well, I guess, I mean, when you think about it, this is Gettysburg, so not exactly coast, but I guess in Pennsylvania, you know, you got that sort of, I don't know, Pennsylvania Dutch. I don't even know, but apparently it's a thing, because then we went directly from Fourscore to the grocery store. It was like Kinney's or something. And you know how that you can get the frozen soft pretzels? They had crab dip, frozen soft pretzels. It's a thing that I had never heard of, but oh my gosh, what a great thing it is.
You know, I'm kind of surprised, and maybe you did it and I missed it. Did you go to the Snyder's Pretzel Factory?
Coulda, woulda, shoulda. And then wasn't on my radar.
Hanover?
Well, that would make sense.
So I don't know. I mean,
I don't know how close that
you guys
is.
talking.
Yeah.
I know outside of Pittsburgh.
But
Very
the problem
little.
is if it isn't
Pennsylvania geography.
really close to where we're staying, it's hard to pull the RV and the tow. Like to do something en route can be difficult.
If you were ever to go missing with the RV solo, and people ask me where to look, it would be a brewery or a pretzel factory.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Those are going to be the
That's
first.
where
two-
you'd find me.
Well, we've checked all the breweries. Probably that pretzel factory one town over.
The thing is, the Snyder's do soft pretzels because that's really. I mean,
No,
I like
soft
I like
pretzels are the way to go.
I like regular pretzels too, but I mean that's where I'm a
That is true.
sucker is
Those
the
are the
soft pretzels.
hard and the delicious. I love those sourdough ones.
Mm. Oh yeah, yeah, those are good too. Yeah, okay. We digress. So Smoketown beer, the Barroom Hero. Once again, this was a small, a really cool brewery too. Again, I was just went down there, had a quick flight, and grabbed some beers to go because I didn't want BB waiting on me. But I liked the location, and I was thoroughly impressed with their beer. There was a couple more that I didn't even get to try because I was like, oh, should I do another flight? But nah, I didn't. So I would go back if I do go back to shoot, what was it called again? Brunswick,
Maryland.
Maryland. So I don't know how you feeling with your rye IPA. I mean,
I've not had a lot of rye IPAs.
Very few come to mind.
I feel
for me
like
as
it's
well.
kind of a untapped niche. It's kind of delicious. I mean, this would be a good, with football season fast approaching, like middle of fall, like tailgate IPA.
Mm.
I think it's absolutely delicious. 6.6 ABV. It's high enough to be worth drinking, but it's not like gonna knock you on your ass. You definitely get a lot more of the maltier taste, I think, because they use rye in it. Labels so damn ugly. The graphic designer needs a raise. I'm gonna go ahead. This is actually a 5.
Wow.
The label bumped it up a half a point because it's so
And
bad.
it's so bad. Wow.
It's so ugly. It's cute.
So you're a label whore for even bad labels. You just love
Apparently.
love a label.
It's something to talk about.
So the Barroom Hero Hazy IPA, as you heard on the start of the show, it did spill a bit on me, and then when I poured it, the head was a bit outrageous. So I do kind of wonder if something funny might have happened. And frankly, now that I'm thinking about where this was in my fridge, this might have gotten a little too cold. Perhaps that might have been the issue. That being said, the lacing still looks pretty good for a nice little hazy. And I do like the color on that. Hazy IPAs are my style. It does have a pretty good nose. And yeah, you do get a bit of that floral that they're talking about. 6.7%. So you're right there. The ABV is what you're looking for. It doesn't have as much hoppiness as I would want in an IPA. I guess hazies are supposed to be juicier, but it's also not super juicy either. That being said, man, this is still a pretty solid beer. I will happily drink 1, 2. Like I said, it's going down pretty easy. So I'll give this one a 4. Solid 4 on the untapped scale. Which
Not a bad outing.
Which, by the way, that's how you can rate your beers and check them in and keep track and see what breweries have good scores. And maybe that might be where you want to go to. That's what I've been using it for lately. DreZ Drinks is my handle if you want to friend me on there. Big Nate Danger sitting across from me. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to drink beers from, I would say, the surprise, the brewery. I don't even know how many breweries we went to on the trip. I would say it was the pleasant surprise. I would almost venture to say the best beer of any of the breweries that we went to is coming up next.
I'm looking forward to it.
I was
that's a tease.
thoroughly impressed with this one. We'll tell you when and where, and a little bit more about that stuff in a little bit. It's Brewsday Tuesday. We'll take a quick break. We'll play a tune. We'll come back. We're popping more tops right here on 105.3 The Bear. Stick around.